Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my seedlings that I have grown indoors. It is now early April. I recently posted a video of the seedlings that I have hardening off outdoors. Please be sure to check that video out. In the meanwhile, let's get started with this tour, shall we? I'm going to start my seedling tour with just a high-level overview of all the seedlings I currently have growing indoors. And yes, I still have more seedlings to start. One thing I wanted to mention was I recently had an infestation of fungus gnats. I really didn't have many fungus gnats all winter long, and I believe by bringing in some pots that still had some dirt in them from last season, I might have introduced the fungus gnats into my house that way. I am in the process of setting up my outdoor greenhouses, so pretty soon these plants will be going out there anyway, so be sure to be on the lookout for that video. We have some Lobelia Crystal Palace here, and look how gorgeous this plant is. It's a wonderful spiller in any window basket or container pot that you have, and I'm so happy to say that I even have some that have started budding up and even blooming. Check out this beautiful color on this blossom. I can't wait to put these out in my hanging baskets, my window boxes, and my containers. What we have here is another Lobelia, and this has a white flower to it. And if you look carefully, you can see that it's starting to bud up. And some of the Lobelia have leaves that look a little crispy or burned at the ends. The plants will be fine. I believe what probably happened was I let it dry out maybe once, but overall you can see that the plants look really beautiful and healthy. This is my first year growing Statice, and this is the Statice Pacific Mix. Check out the structure of the plant and the leaves. It's so interesting to me only because I've never grown this plant before, but I've seen and heard that it makes a great cut flower, so I'm excited to try this out for the first time in my garden. Here I have a mix of Statice Soiree Rose, as well as some more of the Statice Pacific Mix. You'll notice that the leaves on these are smaller than the ones in the other tray that I showed you. That's just because I got to pricking these out later than I had in the initial first many trays of Statice that I have. But that's fine. These will take off in no time. These are a bunch of beefsteak tomatoes. They do look like they are getting a little bit of yellowing on the leaves. Not on all of them. Actually, these over here look pretty healthy. But nevertheless, I did give them some liquid fertilizer today. And I usually give all my plants fertilizer once a week. But I did give them some fertilizer today, so they should perk back up. These are some Big Boy and Sweet 100 tomatoes. I definitely have way more tomatoes than I need, tomato plants I should say, so I do plan on giving a bunch of the plants to some family and friends. I'm sure everyone will enjoy them just as much as I do. These little guys are called African daisies, also known as Osteospermum. I recently did a video that showed me pricking out these seedlings from a tray into individual 6-packs. So if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. And I'm excited about this particular variety, which is called Blue Disc. Here is a full tray of a mix of different colors of Impatiens. They're mostly light pink and hot pink colors here. This is a nice tray of annual Vinca, and the color is pink. And check it out. Here is a bud. And I noticed there's other buds in there as well. So within the next week, these plants should be blooming. Very, very exciting. This is a Heat Wave Blue variety of an annual Vinca. And look at the beautiful color. It's just gorgeous. This is what the bud looks like. So pretty soon I'll have a lot more blossoms coming out of these plants. And even more vinca. The color of this vinca is white. This is a Heatwave Apricot annual vinca, and there's a bunch of buds on there, but look at this beauty. It's just so gorgeous. I love this color. I have 4 trays of the Ford Hook Snapdragon. Some look better than others, but I'm thankful I have 4 trays of this plant, so I believe once I bring the Snapdragons outdoors where it's cooler, they'll be a lot happier. But 4 trays is a lot to have a one variety of Snapdragons, so I should be good. I have a ton of Snapdragons still, and this color is a red Snapdragon. And I did a video recently that showed you how to go about pinching back your Snapdragons so that they branch out on the sides. So be sure to check that video out. But over here, it shows you examples of some Snapdragons that I was able to pinch, and you can see how they're branching out, which in the end will produce more flowers on the plant. This is a tray of some pink Snapdragons and some leftover red Snapdragons. I really love the pink. They're just such a pretty color. I wish I had more of the seeds of those. I'll have to collect some for next year. It's so weird how some Snapdragons look fabulous like these ones, and other ones not as happy. It is what it is. I have so many Snapdragons, I'm happy. There's a mix of some yellow Snapdragons in here and also yet more red Snapdragons. Oh my gosh, aren't these just gorgeous? Look at all the beautiful different colors of this Coleus. It's almost like each one is unique in its own way. I just think they're so beautiful. I have 2 different varieties of Coleus here. This Coleus over here is called Kong Empire. I don't have much of it. The seeds were very old, so I'm happy with whatever germination I got from those seeds. And these seeds here were collected last year, so there is no brand or name to them, but you can see that they all pretty much look the same, and they're gonna look gorgeous once they get even bigger. This is my last tray of Coleus. The name of this Coleus is called Colocha Rose. Very pretty color to it. And then over here is just a remainder of some of the mixed Coleus that I have. So I have a few things in this tray. Over here is a salvia cutting that I had taken a while ago, and it's a white color salvia. And this is a dahlia cutting that I took. And this is just a dahlia tuber that is just starting to sprout. The remainder of the tray has gorgeous verbena. And this is an annual type verbena. There is a mix of colors, so it might be purple or white, I'm not really sure, so I'm just calling it a mix. I seriously don't need any more alyssum. If you've seen my outdoor seedling tour, you would see that I have a ton of alyssum out there. But I couldn't resist. I did start a bunch more alyssum, and the name of this is Honey Scented Summer Romance. They're tiny, but they'll take off before you know it. I have a mix of 2 types of seedlings in here. Here's a little bit more of the alyssum, which is the Honey Scented Sweet Romance or Summer Romance alyssum. And then I have a bunch of Bidens. I grew this plant last year, and it's a yellow flower to it. It's beautiful in the hanging baskets and containers. A number of different seedlings in this tray. The first 4 6-packs, actually 5, are a mix of Osteospermum. They're mostly yellow and orange color. Osteospermum is also known as African daisy. I had some old seed of aster, so 3 of the seeds sprouted. That's what those are. And then in this tray over here, this is a begonia, and it's a wax begonia. So I have, looks like 3, but then there might be a small one here. And then over here is some more lobelia that was planted late, and it's a white color lobelia. I have 1 sage plant. One's better than none. It looks so cute, teeny tiny. And then look how big these are, my goodness. These are wax begonias. It's amazing. Their seeds are dust. They literally are dust. And then the plant turns into this. I just love it. They're such a gorgeous plant. Ignore what the dirt looks like. The plants look fabulous. This is beautyberry. And in my zone, I believe they should be perennial. We'll find out. I planted some of these last year in my garden, so it's still very early here, but in time I'll find out if they survived the winter. If they did not survive the winter, my plan for these guys is to just probably put them in pots and at least at a minimum bring them in every winter and keep them in my garage over the winter. That's probably the best way to overwinter them in my zone in case they don't survive. I sure hope you can see what's planted in this tray. It is a celosia or celosia as some people call it, and it is a red color. They are super tiny and hard to see, but if you look carefully, you'll spot them. They have a red color to them and a tiny bit of green on some of them. Here's some more celosia. There's different colors in here. There's some pink, there's some red, and there's some yellow. And if you look at this tray over here, this is the yellow celosia. So it actually stands out quite a bit compared to the red, for example. This is my first year growing celosia, so I'm excited to see how it looks in the landscape. This is the Burgundy Delight lettuce. And then I have some Caesar lettuce as well. And if you look carefully, you can start seeing what the Caesar lettuce looks like. This is the mealy cup sage, also known as the blue bedder sage. It's a purple color salvia. I grew this last year in my garden and it was absolutely gorgeous. It's a very tall colored purple plant. And right now they're tiny, but they'll take off in no time. I have two kinds of pepper here. On this side, there is the orange bell pepper, and then towards this side is the mild jalapeno. And I noticed on a number of them, they are starting to have little buds where the blossoms will be, and then eventually where the peppers will come from. Here's a tray of the datil or datil pepper. It's almost a full tray of that pepper. And there is, I believe, it looks like one orange bell pepper plant in here. Over here, there's a bunch of habanero peppers. And then over on this side are the mild jalapenos. We have some mild jalapenos, some more orange bell peppers. And then over here, there's some California Wonder bell pepper. You can tell that the habanero pepper plant looks quite different than the other peppers that we've been looking at. So these are all habanero, and then these are all mild jalapeno. Over here are pepper plants that were pricked out pretty late. That's why they're small. It's a mix of some California Wonder bell pepper as well as the datil pepper and the habanero pepper, and then some more habanero over here, and then over here is the purple bell pepper. That should be really pretty. Oh my goodness, look how gorgeous the geranium look. I am so pleased with how pretty that they are coming out and looking. Most of these geranium were overwintered bare root in my basement, and I did a video showing you me taking the geraniums out of dormancy and potting them up. And they're already blooming. Look at all the different colors. They're just so gorgeous. There's 3 in here that I started from seed, but otherwise the rest of them were bare root geraniums. I started growing dahlia from seed a few years ago. This is my first year not growing dahlia from seed. I was successful in overwintering my dahlia from seed tubers in my garage, and I pre-sprouted some, not even all, but some of those tubers, and here is the result. they look wonderful. What I plan on doing, I don't think it's too late, is taking cuttings from these dahlia plants and propagating more dahlias from them. Seeing that I still have about a month and a half before my last frost, I believe I have plenty of time to be able to do that. I have two different colors of salvia here. Clearly you can see the color of this one. Look how beautiful it is. This is a red colored salvia. And then over on this side is a white colored salvia. And if you look carefully, you can see that it's budded up as well. I have a bunch of different things going on in this tray. Over here are some more dahlias that were seed dahlias from last year that created tubers that I overwintered, and I'm sprouting them now. This over here is that celery plant that I've just been growing in the house and having fun with that. I have a couple of basil plants here, and then some various house plants and succulents over here. Have some asparagus. Oh my goodness. I have the Mary Washington asparagus, and it just looks so beautiful. And then I also have 4 plants of the butterfly pea, which is right over here. And the variety is called Blue Queen. I've heard it tastes really good in tea. The blossom tastes very good in tea. I'm going to give it a try. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. It's just grass. It's actually a type of oat, and my cats love it. So it's often referred to as cat grass. If you have cats, I highly recommend you watch my video that shows you how to grow cat grass for your cats. And then over here is a micro tomato, and it's called Orange Hat. And it is wonderful. I grew a few of these plants over the winter, and we enjoyed wonderful orange tomatoes all winter long. Be sure to like and subscribe my channel to follow me as I bring these seedlings out to be hardened off and eventually get them planted in my landscape as well as in various containers and pots. And finally, make it a great day with gardening.